Paola Boivin now joins us. News and Notes, AZ Central Sports. Do you agree? Oh, she's on Skype, by the way, if you want to see Paola. She has a very nice background today.
Oh, thank you.
Very, very nice. Do you agree with my assessment of this, or do you disagree with me vehemently?
Not vehemently, but I think you're downplaying a little bit, Brad. I mean, you know, it's not winning the race, and I get that, but there's a certain honor and obviously a great talent in being able to win the pole. And the thing for me, you know, there's very few sports that men and women can compete equally or close to equally. We are physiologically, we are different animals. And so it's really exciting for me as a sports enthusiast to see these kinds of things happen. And it was, you know, I covered Annika Sorenstam when she was at the Colonial, when she competed with the men and was better than almost half the field there. And there, you know, so that to me is just powerful. And I feel like people are downplaying it a little bit, or, you know, it's not that big a deal, it's a poll, or maybe it's rigged. I've been hearing the conspiracy theorists, you know,
that's
saying
nuts. That's nuts.
I know, but they feel like they can rig it with the plates and everything else. So it just, for me, it's almost a little bit emotional that she's doing it.
Okay, you know me well enough to know that I just don't look at men and women
right
differently. I just look at athletes. Okay?
I know.
And that's just how I am on this. I think that this is a slow time in sports, okay? Today's a slow day. It's following just an awful NBA All-Star weekend, which was, to me, unwatchable. And so we have to grab onto something that's big. Is it a big story that she has the pole? Yeah, it is, but to me, it's just, this is another step for her. The big story is, does she do something off this, or after 10 laps, is she out? Because more often than not, she has not been able to finish, right?
Absolutely. I mean, there's been a lot of crashes.
Yeah.
You know, I have a lot of issues with Danica, not like in a big way, but I mean, some of that advertising, the GoDaddy stuff, I just didn't think it was healthy for women in a sports environment trying to be taken seriously. I mean, I've had problems with some of the things she's done, but I think it's significant what she accomplished. And, you know, maybe it's from a female's perspective of watching for years the WNBA try to get some respect, and all you hear are these sort of pejoratives from men and women who force themselves to compare women and men's basketball, and it's two different animals. And so just for years we've sort of been dealing with it, and people can't appreciate the women's sports a lot of times, women's team sports, for what they are. So I guess, again, just for me to see this sort of level playing field and her ability to do that was significant.
Okay. Isn't it fair to say, because I've known you for a long time, over 20 years, you have been one of the leading voices of women's sports and gender equity. There's a few women that are not afraid to go out there and take the hits and the letters that say, go back to washing dishes. And you've you've gotten those. We've had these conversations that there's the Neanderthals that are out there that don't get it. I've got 2 daughters, so I love it when they go out and compete. And I appreciate everything that you've done on that. But aren't we at a point where it shouldn't be about a woman doing something in a man's world in sports?
No, I don't think we're at that point, because I think there's not a level playing field in the sports arena yet. I don't think women are respected equally in the sports arena as men are, from people like you, of course, and a lot of the people that we kind of hang around with and know. But there's plenty of people out there that just have an issue with women in athletics and are very demeaning about it. I mean, you know, and this is my big rant every year, is it's the time of year Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue is out. And once again, for a woman to get on the cover of SI, for the most part, she has to be in a very skimpy bikini. And what message is that sending a young athlete? If you want to get on SI, this is what you have to do. So I just don't think there's a level playing field in the world yet. I hope in 10 years your point is going to be well taken, but I just don't think we're there yet.
Maybe it's just me then. I mean,
I think it is just
I just look at this and say, okay, Danica made the pole. Nice story. Let's see what she does on race day.
Right.
And it could be just, Paula, it could be just as simple as Jimmy Johnson making the pole to me. I understand that this is Daytona. This is not a nationwide circuit race. This is not the John Deere Classic in golf. Like when Annika was out there golfing, it was a novelty. And it's like in our profession, we get all caught up in novelty stuff. The gay soccer player that came out on Friday, to me, was not a big deal. It's like, so what? You know, when Rick Welts decided to say he was coming out of the closet, we just made this big deal out of it. So she's on a pole. So what to me? And
I
that's
just
not
think-
demeaning. I'm not demeaning.
I think you're just evolved, Brett, and I mean, and it's a compliment. I mean, I think to you, it is not important because you see the world from this prism, unfortunately, that a lot of people in society don't. I'm not saying it's the majority of people, but I still
Sure.
think there's a very healthy chunk of people that don't respect female athletes.
It's like Doris Burke doing college basketball games, and people crush her for doing college basketball games. She's fine.
Right.
I don't have any problem with it, but there are guys that I know that why do I have a girl doing the color analysis on a college basketball game? Because she knows what she's talking about. Annie Meyer's doing Suns games. Never mind, they're awful. Okay, I get more notes about why do I have some girl doing Suns game analysis? Oh, I don't know. She's only one of the greatest basketball players that's ever put on a jersey.
I know it's pretty remarkable, and everything you're saying makes sense. But I think that's a conversation maybe we'll have in 10 years, and I'll agree with you. I just can't right now.
The ASU basketball game. So they win at Colorado. Are they in the tournament? Are they out of the tournament today, in your view?
I think they're in right now. I mean, that helped their RPI. It moved up nicely. This is not a lock by any stretch. A lot is what's going to unfold here in the next few weeks, and quite possibly, I think this Pac-12 tournament in Vegas, Brad, is going to be fantastic because there are probably 10 teams that could win this tournament when it comes up. So
are you going to go?
I think there's a lot of basketball to be played, but that was a great victory for ASU and the way they won it too.
You going to go?
Although it was a little ugly at the end.
You going to be in Vegas? You going to go?
I am going to be in Vegas.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have a good time. Mike Montgomery putting his hands on Alan Crabb. Did you see the video? What did you make out of the coach at Cal doing what he did last night?
Yeah, I did see the video. I was surprised by it, and I'm also, I think he shouldn't have done it, but I'm also a firm believer in judging someone on their body of work, and I don't think that's who Mike Montgomery is, at least from what I can tell. I think he made a mistake. I don't think it's a federal issue. Maybe, and I haven't read the follow-up today. A reprimand would be fine with me, a scolding, but I don't sense that's who Mike Montgomery is about, and I think he made a mistake.
Yeah, Cal sent out a release. Eric had that earlier. And I've covered him too. And my thing is, the kid responded. Teachers are supposed to get kids to respond. Now, I'm not saying you put your hands on them in a classroom, but if you're a basketball coach, and he did not, he put his hands on him and said, "Don't you want to play?"
Right.
Okay. And what
Right.
did the kid do? The kid went out and completely responded. And
Sure.
it's not if it's a coach at a Division III program in the middle of nowhere. Coach probably has something thrown on him. If it's Mike Montgomery, who, in my opinion, is as close to a Hall of Fame coach as you're going to find, who doesn't get all the attention that a Mike Krzyzewski gets, I'm in agreement with you. You say something and you move on.
Yeah, and I think, we probably don't appreciate sort of the relationship of that coach and that player and their history and their closeness, and there's probably a sort of a comfort level with them where that was probably okay in their realm. And I just think, a public sees that, and as a coach, you have a responsibility to sort of be, for lack of a better word, presidential in your behavior. You have to make the right choices. And I think people, they have to realize now this is a social media world, and that's going to be on YouTube, and people are only going to understand the snippet and not really have the perspective.
Right.
So I see where that's a problem, but I certainly don't think it's a federal case.
Paola Boivin, News and Notes, AZ Central Sports. Jerry Buss, did you deal with him much through your years in Los Angeles?
I did early, when I was in Los Angeles and they were playing at the Forum. And he was such a character and someone who made you watch basketball at that level for a lot of reasons, for the type of players he brought in, to the personality that he was. Everybody knew about Jerry, and he'd, walk into that, was it the Forum Club there?
Right.
And he had a girl on each arm, and people would, raise their eyebrows. But there was no question that he appreciated not only game, but the entertainment value, I think, before a lot of people did. And just look at all the success that the Lakers had under him, however they got it, by spending money or by making good personnel decisions. He had a huge impact on the success of this league, no doubt.
Yeah, I had Jimmy Walker on earlier from Celebrity Fight Night, and without Jimmy being introduced to Jerry Buss introduced him to Muhammad Ali, there's no Celebrity Fight Night, which has been one of the staples here in the Valley in the sports scene for many, many years. What are you working on this week? Anything going on? Anything you can share with me?
No, I'm still working on these 2 projects I'm kind of excited about, but I can't talk about. But I'm trying to get around the Diamondbacks a lot this week and kind of see what the direction they're heading and things like that.
All right. Well,
Sorry, Brad.
No, it's fine. I understand the business. One day I'll just open it up and say, wow, okay, I got it. So
Yeah,
are these
exactly.
these award-winning pieces?
There is the one I'm working on right now. I'm really excited about, and it's
Well, that's
yeah,
half the battle in this day and
that's
age.
half the battle. Absolutely, it is.
All right. I'll see you soon. Stay well.
Okay, Brad.
It's Paula Boivin, News and Notes every week, AZ Central Sports.